Hello, beautiful beings. Agents, can you please just speak for me? I've started and stopped recording so many times. It's kind of humbling when I go to upload a video and I see I have a big chunk of something on my eye. Yeah, recording these videos has been very helpful to shed the useless personal identity. I talk about the same things a lot because these are my life lessons I'm going through. If it helps you to watch my process, I'm deeply grateful for that. It definitely helps me to record these videos. It helps me process. And what I'm still processing is how to navigate being so fucking empathic. Today, it didn't feel like a gift at all. It feels like a gift when I'm holding satsang. It feels like a gift most of the time, except when it doesn't, which has been a lot. I know that accepting it is the key. That will make it to where I'm not so surprised when I wake up in the morning and I feel absolutely hopeless. I know I learned also today how useful logic can be. Yeah, I held satsang with Saliche for a while today, and men I've noticed can, and just Capricorns in general, they tend to be more logical, and Virgos also, yeah, earth signs, more grounded. And I feel more grounded around them usually, and so I got a dose of that today. And what I learned from our satsang was that logic, I need to use more logic. I didn't see until today. Maybe, yeah, they're saying I've been using logic but didn't realize it. Okay. So in other ways, sure, everything's on a spectrum, right? So in this way that I need to use it is, if I wake up in the morning, which is going to happen again someday in my life, sometime, that's not negative thinking. That's accepting how things are and how they always have been. Why resist it? Settle into it. Just relax into it. Stop resisting it. Okay, so the shedding process has definitely changed recently. It's out of one. It's continuous, basically. It probably always was, but it seemed like what I was shedding before, it just was like longer periods of time to take to shed it. Oh, so now we're just basically fine-tuning shedding. Well, it still sucks. So how I can use logic, if I wake up in the morning and I feel hopeless, what's the point? That's not mine. I know that that's not mine. That's where logic is. Oh, that's not mine. But okay, they're saying that's not logic saying that. That's you recognizing the truth of the situation. Okay, I like that even better. So I'm seeing the truth of the situation. Sure, because logic, how I was labeling it just now, and like basically always, is that it's not real. Whatever thought because I'm like, logic never brings relief. And I said that to Saliche today. I said, I just don't understand how logic can bring relief. And I said, how does logic bring relief? And they answered, and he was looking at me. He was standing on the top, like at the beginning of the spiral staircase, and I was up. And I was just like, I was squatted down, so we were like eye level, but he was quite a ways away. I kept my distance. I definitely need to energetically just keep my distance for the most part. That makes me feel better. People have an aura, and if you get in their space, you can feel their energy better. So anyway, so when I said it so earnestly, like, how can logic, I wanted to see it so badly. How can logic help me bring relief? And they said, by shifting your perception. And I was just like, oh my gosh, they're saying, and he's just like, what? And I said, by shifting our perception. And I was just like, as they said it, I was getting it. Yes, of course. When I wake up in the morning and I know that I'm feeling somebody else's emotions, or the collective, maybe not even somebody I'm really close to, but just the collective. There's a full moon lunar eclipse, solar eclipse coming on the 7th. And so that's good for me to know these things. I used to wonder, if I didn't know that it was coming, would I still feel this way? Absolutely. I've done the research. It's way better for me to know that it's coming. And so I can start grounding myself more. I can be more aware and not be taken over by all the emotions that are happening in this physical form. It's really good for me to be detached and see this body as like a body, my suit, my space suit, so I can breathe the air on planet Earth. It's really good for me to have that distance from it. It makes all the emotions that I pick up from other people, it makes them feel a lot less personal. So it's good to objectify my body in this way. So I'm going to I did this for so many years. I haven't done it for a long time, but I'll do it because I've been feeling resentful. I thought that there would come a certain, there still may, but I thought that I outgrew some of the coping mechanisms that I used to use to get out of my mind, to turn my attention away from useless thinking. The mind is not the problem. It's the thoughts that I turn my attention to, that I give life to. Those are the ones that slay me. But then, so I'm asking them, okay, so I've been sleeping, I wake up, and I feel it right away. Just the weight, the heaviness. Oh, I was tossing and turning too. Oh, I'm already, of course. Okay, don't feel bad, Ocean. Don't feel bad about this. But they're showing me, it's because you've had another rough night, like a particularly rough night, and you weren't sleeping, and you were in pain, and you felt incredibly alone and hopeless. That's why I wake up feeling like that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I just, they're panning it out. They're like, she chose this. These are her life lessons. You don't have to feel responsible, or like I mean, that's love, wishing that I could, just give her 100% relief. We just can't. None of us can imagine what it would be like to be in that much physical pain every day. And along with it is the emotional. And it's just so okay. That makes a lot of sense, because I didn't understand, because I still listen to Abraham Hicks, not a whole lot, but it'll come up on my feed sometimes. And what was the point of that? I'm going to get that book back, or order a new one, Ask and It Is Given, because there's an emotional scale on there that I used to use all the time. I blanked on that one, what I was going to say about them. Ancients, is that important? Well, if we were saying it, it was important. Right, I've made it a habit to be in the vortex, be in presence, and I go to sleep feeling very happy and very peaceful most nights, unless it's a particularly rough shed, but usually, and so then when I wake up and feel that, now I know why. I've never understood that, how that can change so drastically, but yeah. I know that another miracle is on its way to my dear sweet mother Ocean. And, I have to admit that throughout my life, picking up on what other people are feeling, if I can talk to that person and help them feel better, it's a win-win, because we both feel better. If you feel better, I definitely feel better, but it's not in a codependent way. It's in an energetic way. And so I have found that if I can't help that person feel better and they just keep feeling bad, then I tend to distance myself from that person energetically. And I feel that the divine also does that at times, like with a different person I'm thinking about right now. I feel like there's some space between us because there is. And I'm not overextending at all. But the energetic weather around this person is not, it feels like there's a storm brewing there. Yeah. So with Ocean though, it helps us every single time. It helps both of us to talk. So Ocean, do you agree? Because when we're both feeling that way, it's hard to reach out. It's hard to reach out from a really depressed feeling place. It's incredibly difficult. It's not impossible though. So we've agreed on this before, and we've promised each other we would do it. But do you agree that from now on, if either one of us, I know you feel like this a lot, but not constantly. So I feel that if we just call each other, then it's going to help us both feel better more often than not. Thank you. That's very exciting. All right. Yes, okay. So, yeah, logic. I can see the usefulness of logic now. I think logic got a bad rap for me because people that don't know how to process, don't want to process, my emotions are making them feel uncomfortable. They just automatically go to logic. And that's what happened this morning with Celiche. He went right to logic. Well, I can't talk to you. You don't want to hear the solution. Like, with all that emotion, my fangs came out. But I stayed standing there, and I stayed, present and looking right at him. I was paying attention to my facial expressions, to not react. Don't react. Do not react. And I passed with flying colors. He was just like, wow. He said, normally in a situation like that, he said, because it felt like it got heated for a minute, not in a good way, which, that doesn't matter. He's married. So there's none of that going on. But I mean, I'm not used to like holding deep songs with men either. And so we've gotten annoyed with each other twice now. Today was the second time. And that's really good for almost knowing each other for 2 years. But anyway, but we triggered each other this morning. And he said, when it got to a certain point, and it all lasted like 3 minutes, 4 minutes max, he said, I would have been like, peace out. He said, but something made me just stay. I said, me too. I had to like make sure my feet were rooted on the ground because everything in me wanted to say, F you, buddy. I'm out of here. I said, I didn't like the energy that was coming off of you and what was coming out of your mouth about my emotions. And, I pray to God. I don't know what you pray to, the ancients. And when he said that, he saw himself say that. And he was just like, oh shit. I saw him, oh shit. Oh, that sounded bad. Because he loves the ancients. He believes in them. He told me the other day that if somebody said, do you believe in what Mama G says? He would say, 100%. Yes, I do. And he acknowledges them. He thanks them himself. And I told him today, I said, I feel like the ancients they're of course a divine expression of God. But they're not, God is all that is. God is what's beating my heart and breathing me. And, I just choose to say divine. Because when I say divine, I don't see a gender. I feel what's beating my heart and breathing me. Yeah, it's all that is, and nothing at all. I love when they add stuff. I'm like, oh my god, that's so true. So, okay, I'm gonna have something queued up for morning, and I feel just talking about it really dissipates it. There's a talking about things that exacerbate the situation. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, about we have to be talking to the right people to make it productive. Else, if we're talking to people that just thrive on negativity, then we're just feeding it, and we're just digging ourselves deeper. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go eat because I have not been making that a priority, and I just need to do that. I did not have an anorexic relapse. I just haven't been having much of an appetite, and I see why that is. I need to write myself a list because I love to eat. I absolutely love to eat. It took me years to learn how to love to eat, but I do. I had to fake it for a long time. But as I was faking it, I'm like, and like focusing on what the food tasted like instead of what my mind was saying and how my stomach felt about how disgusting it was. I was like, I knew logically, oh, okay, thank you. This is a perfect example. I knew logically that the food wasn't disgusting. I knew that it was in my mind, and that I was trying to learn how to not think that way anymore and think differently, recondition. And so I conditioned myself, into anorexic thinking, and I conditioned my way out, and I'm still working on that. So I'm going to write down when I'm done with this video, actually after I'm done eating, I'm going to write down some key things, like, so I know that it's not mine. Like if I'm not eating as much as I normally would, that is either anorexic thinking on my part, or I'm picking that up from somebody else that does not have an appetite. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Okay, they're showing me that the more that I can, because I was just sobbing earlier, I was just like, can I go through one day and just feel my own feelings, my own emotions? What would that be like? It feels like it would be incredibly peaceful. And that's where I felt like the desperation came from for me. I felt trapped today. I was trying to figure out how not to be that way, and it is happening. I'm still going to be that empathic, but I'm learning how to navigate it. I have to. It's too painful not to. And I'm not as helpful if I'm feeling too much, because then I need to retreat. Literally, how much can one person's, how much can you take? A lot, obviously. Yeah, I've talked to God about that. Why did you make it so, yeah, I won't fill in that picture? Why did you make it so hard for us to drop these physical forms at times? And why did you make it so easy for that to happen, to like drop the physical form? It feels like the extreme on both ends. I just don't need to ask those questions. They're saying, you will know, yeah, if you're on a need to know basis, those answers will come in. But, that's just more useless thinking probably. Okay, so I am getting hungry now, and I have been hungry, and I just always need to be honest about that, because that keeps me on the straight and narrow, as far as never ever, I'm saying never in this situation, I am never having another anorexic relapse. Yes. I danced with that devil long enough, they're saying. So they're saying, that's right, thank you. The more I practice navigating the other people's emotions, somehow it's helping them. Yeah, of course it is, because if I'm picking up on them so strongly, they're picking up on me too. Okay, they're saying that does go for happiness, but it seems like it's more often than not you're picking up on somebody else's, discomfort. I guess we'll save that for another video. I was going to ask, but I don't need to delve into that. But I can see how it would help the other person, for sure. The more that I can detach, I just want to master being able to detach from somebody's emotions and still be able to be there to help them if I can. Yeah. That's what my life would look like. That's what I want to achieve. I can achieve that. I'm going to be working on that diligently. If you would like help with something that you are working on diligently or what you need to work on diligently, we would love to try to help you with that if we can. Oh, I feel so much better. satsangwithmamaji@gmail.com. We love you so much.